Hi everybody, how are you? Welcome to a very interesting session. My name is Juhi Narula, and in this video we are going to explore how do we build vocabulary. We are going to talk about few very creative ways to enhance your vocabulary. Also, we are going to learn a lot of roots and associated words. So let's get started. So, see, when we talk about vocabulary building, we have usually seen students struggling a lot. And the reason is that whatever present set of words that we have with us, those are sufficient to communicate in English. Hence, there is no need to learn new words. People don't usually get into this habit of building new words or learning new vocabulary because the existing set of words are convenient, comfortable, and sufficient enough. But when we talk about competitive exams, be it any exam that is under the planet which has got verbal in it, will definitely demand having a good vocabulary. And you cannot at all escape learning this particular part. Also, there is one very important advice that I would like to give it to you. Please don't go by this approach to cram words. Mugging up the words is something which doesn't work at all. I've seen a lot of students who would, find some lists, at various sources, and they would start, cramming those words. Learning them day in and day out will not help as the memory is very short lived. You are going to forget that, right? So, my advice would be that try and use those words in your day to day discussions and always discuss around the word. Just don't superficially learn the meaning of the word. Rather, try and find out unique ways. Say you've learned 5 days, 5 words. So try that you use those 5 words in your day-to-day discussion. Somehow, try to use in any sentence that you make. So I'm sure you're going to, get hang of it. If it is not possible to, use it with your family members or or your cousins, so you can have a group of friends who are really motivated, who are preparing for a competitive exam. I'm sure everybody has got few friends who are working in the same direction. So in that case, you can find that group where you can in your day to day discussions utilize those particular words. So in this video, like I previously said, that we are going to get into the details as to how to enhance vocabulary. So let's get started. First important thing is that be inquisitive. Like you can see on the screen, you are nincompoop. So nincompoop means an idiot. So we are only a nincompoop or an idiot till we are not having any enthusiasm and willingness to learn. The moment we have this, we are definitely on the right track. So don't be a nincompoop. Nincompoop means an idiot. And this has got a very interesting story. So also, this is one of the methods to enhance vocabulary. So I was there in a class, and then we decided on few characters. So you can also do it if you're in a group of friends. You can decide that, okay, let's talk about all the adjectives that can define Amitabh Bachchan, right? So somebody can come up with eloquent since he speaks so well, right? Somebody can come up with this word dandy since he's so good looking. I find him very attractive, right? Or somebody might come up with this particular adjective that he's magnanimous, he's large hearted, or you can find different words to explain him. So we were having this sort of an interaction in my class, and then we decided, students decided, that we are going to discuss about Alia Bhatt. And somebody came up with this word nincompoop. Now, this was the end of the class, and I gave the homework that, okay, find the meaning of nincompoop, and then next time when we meet, we are going to discuss. Now, one of the students from the class went and said to his girlfriend that you're a nincompoop, which means an idiot. So, they had a bad fight. And then, he comes to me and tells me that, ma'am, why did you teach me this wrong word? How can you define Alia Bhatt like this? So I did tell him that, see, boss, you need to know the meaning of the word before using it, right? So there's a lesson for everybody that you cannot use the word until and unless you know the meaning, right? And the point that I'm trying to make is that if you get any vocab based question and if you do not know the meaning of the word, we are actually stuck. There is no way to, escape that situation. So we should always try that such situation doesn't arrive in front of us and we are always aware. And how would this happen? If you are making vocabulary building your routine, right? Invest at least, if not more, 15 minutes every day, right? You can of course give more time if your exam is approaching near, or if you have long term plans, so at least begin with 15 minutes. And what can be the ways? Let's explore. So, first important suggestion is read. Okay, so reading really, really helps. Read as much as you can, whatever you can, wherever you can. Reading has got a lot of benefits. First, it will definitely help you enhance your vocabulary, right? So you cannot undermine that. Second important thing that you need to keep in mind, which we of course include as a habit of reading. This helps in solving reading comprehension questions. So you are giving any competitive exam, you're definitely getting reading comprehensions. So if you read varied stuff, then you will start enjoying the process of solving the comprehensions, or you will not get intimidated. It happens, isn't it, that if there's a passage based on Sachin Tendulkar, you read it very quickly and you get all the answers right. But if the passage comes on ornithology and you're first struggling that what is the meaning and you're not at all interested, right? So that fear has to go away. If you are not even having this feeling to read the passage completely, how are you going to solve the questions, right? And in the exam, it's always a bad day. It never is going to happen that you will get all the passages that you like, that are from your area of interest. There would be times where you might get a passage which is something that you do not enjoy at all. So you have to anyways be strong enough to encounter any such situation, because we are targeting our selection, right? Our careers are at stake, our life is at stake, so we cannot risk. So, of course, reading will definitely help you get better with your comprehension abilities. Third important benefit is that you become aware, which is very, very important. There would be some exams which will have a general awareness section. So, of course, if you're reading newspapers and you're reading journals or editorials, it's going to be of great help to you. Also, if you have good knowledge base, then it definitely helps you in group discussions and personal interviews. It gives you an edge which cannot be done in any other way except enhancing knowledge. So a person who has awareness, who's knowledgeable, definitely is more competitive, right? And even if you are, imagine that you have your own company and you would want a person who should take your business forward, or who should be a manager. So you would want a person who has good control of the things that are happening around, right? So that's what is expected from you also. So if you read, it definitely gives you an edge. You become more aware, you have more knowledge, you are more confident. You become a better speaker only when you are a good reader, right? See, there are a lot of students who are good with their communication skills with the language. They have good confidence. Their body language is very positive. That's amazing. Kudos. If you are one of them, amazing. Right now, you need to capitalize. Imagine there's a group discussion and there's a topic, that comes on Indo China conflict, and you are not aware about it. You don't have any information. How are you going to, talk about, right? You can gather some of the points from the discussion and then speak it, but that anybody can judge that you don't have your own points, right? So it's very, very important to read. And then there is one more benefit of reading, that when it comes to writing essays, you are definitely going to do better if you are aware, right? If you have read, be it any type of essay, be it an argumentative essay, be it an issue based essay, right? You will be in a good position to write and express your feelings, because you have seen, subconsciously you have learned that how you should take the discussion forward, how the ideas are accumulated, how they are presented, how they're organized. So that's also another advantage. So it really, really contributes. So what is the first thing that you're going to do? You're going to start reading, right? And believe me on this, you'll develop this amazing interest, and it's going to take you ahead in your life. And always be a reader, not just to crack your exams, but whatever you are doing, right? So while we read, students ask us that, ma'am, how do we read so that it helps in enhancing vocabulary? So while you're reading, you should always keep a diary and a pen with you, right? If you encounter one word, say this is a paragraph that I'm reading, and you have encountered one word which is complacent, and you do not know the meaning of the word, just underline it or mark it. If you are doing it on the screen, that's also fine. There are, tools where you can mark the word, right? I'm sure you are really, really smart and you would be knowing these technologies. So you can just mark the word. Try to gather the meaning of the word from the given context, right? So that your reading doesn't stop. If you are going to do this, that you read the paragraph, you are stuck at one word and you start looking at the meaning of the word, that's going to be troublesome. This is going to break your momentum, and at times you might get some situations where you would not know the word, so you're extracting the meaning of the word from the given context is something which is absolutely required. So just mark the word and move on. Finish that particular page, that article, or that chapter wherever you are and whatever time you have. Then make a list of all such words. Then find the meaning of those words and make flashcards. How do we make flashcards? I'll tell you. Or try to use those five. So you've made a list of 15 words. Initially, you will see that you are making list of 20 words, 25 words, or maybe 30 words, or maybe 50 words. That's fine. But every passing day, you will find that the number is reducing because you're getting better. That's one of the filter test, right? And then you will see that the list is getting shorter, and when the list will get shorter, you will find words which are slightly difficult, that means which are less frequently used. So this is one way to read. Don't just just look at the word and immediately look for the meaning. That really hampers the flow, and that we wouldn't want. Right. Also, there is one important suggestion that I would like to give, that you can take help of this dictionary which we call Merriam-Webster. So this is an app which you will very easily find on Play Store, and this is a free app. So when we are discussing or learning a word, it is not always just learning the exact meaning of the word. एक word का meaning है वो आपने सीख लिया. Always try that you make sentences, right? This is important. Try to learn the part of speech, whether this particular word can be used as a verb or as a noun or it is an adjective. So which part of speech will it belong to, right? Try to learn opposites of that particular word, right? Antonyms, opposites or antonyms, whatever, or and synonyms. So try to learn all this, right? And usually there's a discussion. So when you click Merriam-Webster, if there is one word that can be used as a verb, the sentence is used. So to explain that to you, read it well. Don't just learn the word superficially. At times there would be words which will have two meanings to it, and if you're just learning the word superficially, then you'll be caught, right? So please take care. I'll give you an example, right? The point that I'm making. I'm sure you must have heard of this word founder, right? So founder is a creator, right? So Mark Zuckerberg is the founder of Facebook or Meta, whatever you call it now. And how are we using it? We are using it as a noun. But do you know founder means also to fail? And this usage is when you're using it as a verb. Now, if there is one word, founder comes, and then you are asked to, give the synonyms. If creator is not given an option, then you would either find the question wrong or you will be troubled. How can this particular clarity be achieved? Just by referring to the dictionary, right? So always refer to an app or a dictionary app, right? Don't just Google the meaning. At times what happens is the moment you will Google, the first word will come on the screen, and then you will get the meaning, and then you'll finish the task. Don't finish the task. You should at least spend 5 minutes on that particular word, if not more, the words that you're learning new, right? So to begin with, if you're finding a lot of difficulty that ये बहुत सारे words हैं जो मेरे को नए लग रहे हैं, तो आप कम words पे focus कर लो. Maybe just read one page and find 5 words, and for the next page you can leave it for the next day, but do spend some detailed time on it. If you're just doing it in a in a rough fashion without getting into the details, then the problem that you can encounter I've already explained, right? So please take care of these things and start reading from today itself. Now, there is another very logical approach which I feel is really appreciated and supported by the trainers all over the world. for vocabulary development, and this is root words. So what are roots? English has got its origin from Greek and Latin, the way Hindi has got its original origin from Devanagari lipi. Similarly, English has got its origin from Greek and Latin. So you pick up certain roots which can either be added, some can be added as prefix. Prefix means that comes before the word. Something can be added as suffix, which comes after the word. And you can see a lot of words logically derived from roots. So I'm sure you must have seen a lot of advertisements where a lot of trainers claim that you attend my session, I'm going to teach you 100 words. So how is he going to teach you 100 words? He's going to teach you 100 words by using roots. So I think we'll also be able to reach to this number in this video. Let's see how many we are able to learn. So it's a very logical approach, and people who always find English not having logic, firstly, I'm absolutely against the idea. I am an engineer and I know that English is very, very logical if you are interested to know the logic, right? And so this is a very unique and innovative approach which should absolutely fit and absolutely be fine for you, right? So you should definitely try root words approach, and how it works, how it functions, let me explain you. So next half an hour we are going to learn a lot of interesting roots, and we are going to learn a lot of new words. So keep your pencils and pen registers handy, and let's go for a ride where we are learning a lot of interesting roots and words. So let's get started. The first root that we are going to learn is cressy, which means rule. So the first word that you can see on the screen is autocracy. So auto is self. So autocracy becomes what? Dictatorship. Okay, so what is dictatorship? A person who's having an authoritative control, who's single-handedly trying to govern people. Like Hitler, his reign was autocratic, right? So he practiced autocracy with this one person, and he is governing on his whims and fancies. So this is autocracy. Now auto is another root. Automatic, right? You have seen. So my car is having the automatic start. So that's what do we mean by auto, right? So you must have seen automation, automatic, autonomous, right? So what is an autonomous university? Who's working and functioning as an individual without any control by an external force. So that's autonomous, right? So you must have seen. So see, we have learned autocracy, we have learned autonomous, right? If you would want, you can add automatic also, automation also. So this is how we are learning a lot of words. Four already learned. Let's move to the next word. So democracy. Dem stands for people. Okay, so I'm sure you must have heard government by the people, for the people, of the people, right? A very famous saying. So democracy, cracy is rule, dem is people. So democracy is government by the people. So in our country, we follow democracy. India is a democratic country, government by the people. Now you have this root democracy. You can have this word demographic, your demography. Graphy is study. So demography is study of the people. During election time, you must have seen people come to your place, or there are a lot of surveys, to see people below poverty line, or to see how many people would be voting in your, family. So there's a study of people. That's demography, right? Then there is this epidemic, pandemic. I'm sure you must have heard of this term, pandemic, right? With corona thing, everybody knows this word, right? What do we do? So you see, pan stands for all and dem stands for people. So pandemic is a disease which has affected everybody, right? Logical, isn't it? Now there is another word, panacea. Panacea is a cure for all. So a medicine or a remedy that cures everything. So it's a hypothetical concept, but you can have this word pandemic. Now there's another word that I'll teach you, panorama view. So I'm sure everybody has got smartphones and smart cameras. So there is this feature, panorama view. So it will capture the entire view. It comes from pan, which means all or entire. So entire view, right? So this is how we are learning so many words. So we have learned autocracy, we have learned what? We have learned automation, we have learned autonomous, we have learned automatic, we have learned democracy, we have learned demography, we have learned pandemic, we have learned panacea. So that's how, it's a very logical approach. And you wouldn't just come to know that we've already learned 10 words, right? So just 3 minutes discussion, we have learned 10 words, and we are doing a lot of discussion, right? We are just not superficially learning the word. And that's what you need to do, that you need to ensure that there's a lot of discussion goes around when you're learning a new word, right? So let's move further. Plutocracy is government by the rich people. So plutocracy, if you have to write it, it is government by the rich people. Okay. Now let's come to the next word, aristocracy. So have you seen those liquor bottles, right? So there is an aristocrat brand, and if you see the cover of that particular bottle, this has got an image of a ruler or a queen, right? So aristocracy is government by noble people, right? So this is another word. Now next comes bureaucracy. So bureaucracy is government by officials, right? So bureaucracy, I'm sure you must have heard of it, very very popular in India, right? So government by civil servants, we call bureaucracy or bureaucrats, right? So I hope you are clear with these set of words. See, this is how it's a very interesting approach, and you keep on learning new words, and very exciting approach, very logical, and you don't forget the words. This is something that you need to keep in mind, that you're not going to forget the words. Next is side. Side is killing. So this root means killing, right? So gynecide, I'm sure you must have seen, gynecologists. So gynecologists are doctors for women, right? So gyne stands for women. So gynecide would be killing of a female, right? So it would be killing of a female. Come to another word, matricide. So matri stands for mother, a mother-like figure. So killing of one's own mother. This is matricide for you. And there is another word that I'll try to teach you. We'll do it after patricide. Patri stands for father. So killing of one's own father is patricide, right? So you must have seen in your junior classes when you studied civics, you must have studied that India is a patriarch society. So patriarch means your father is considered to be the head of the family, right? Arch stands for rule and patri stands for father. So patri, now instead of patri, if I replace patri and put it like matri, so matriarch. So we have in the northeast part of the country matriarch societies where mother is considered to be the head of the family. All right. Or we can have another word that we can learn, monarch. So I'm sure you know mono variables and polynomials, monomials, binomials. These terms you have encountered in your maths and junior classes. So mono means single, right? Monochrome, right? Monochrome or polychrome. So mono is single, arc is rule. So monarch is where there's a ruler, single king ruling. So that's how you have learned so many words, right? So matriarch, patriarch, monarch, patricide, matricide. Come to the next word, phratry. Phratry stands for brother, right? So fratricide is killing of one's own brother. You must have heard of this word, fraternity. So fraternity is brotherhood, right? It comes from the word root fratry. Okay. Infant is a newborn child. Born. Okay. So infanticide is killing of a newborn child. Then there can be this term feticide. What is feticide? Killing of an unborn child. In the fetus, in the womb, we are killing the child. Then there is insecticide, there's germicide, right? Then is suicide, regicide, homicide. You keep on learning. The list is endless. Zoricide is killing of one's own wife. There's so many words. Mariticide is killing of one's own husband. So there's so many words to it that by just by knowing the roots, you can just get into this world of knowing as many words as possible, right? So I hope you're clear with these roots. Let's further move to the next root, which is Ben. So Ben stands for something which is good or positive. Okay. Uh, so there is this benevolent, which means a kind person. Okay. And I will do what? Instead of ben, I will replace it with the root mal. Mal is bad. Nutrition, malnutrition. Right? So malevolent is unkind. It changes the meaning of the word, right? Benefactor. Benefactor is a person who sponsors good. Now come to the, and again you can make an opposite of it by placing the root mal. Malefactor means a person who's negative, okay, who's taking away the good things from you. Next is benediction. Again, you can make an opposite by adding malediction. Now let's first try ben. So ben stands for good, and edict, edict. This is to state something. Okay, this is to state something. So when we say benediction, if you're speaking good for somebody, it becomes what? It becomes a blessing. And malediction would become what? A curse. So blessings, and opposite would be curse, which would be malediction. Okay. Beneficiary is a person who receives good. So you must have seen whenever your parents go for some policies, they'll go for LIC policies or some insurance policies. There would be one column where the name of beneficiary would be asked. So who's the beneficiary who's going to receive the benefit, right? So beneficiaries receives good. So you can write the meaning. Beneficiary is one who receives good, and bona fide is in good faith. So the root FID stands for faith. So there is this term, FID stands for faith. Now there's term infidelity, which means cheating. You must have, heard of these terms. So infidelity is when you're cheating against your partner and anybody. So in laga diya, the meaning would change. So fidelity is faith, infidelity, right? Or bona fide's opposite would be malafide, right? So these so many words that we have learned. So it's just been 6 7 minutes and we have already learned more than 20 25 words. So that's how root words help, right? So I hope you're enjoying the process. It's not monotonous, it's not boring, and it's very logical. And we are not cramming, we are finding ways to learn the word in a logical way, right? So let's further proceed and learn some new sets. Next comes is pathos. So pathos stands for emotions or feelings. So let's see. Pathos stands for feelings or emotions. Okay. So let's try and learn these antis against, right? So you must have seen anti-corruption bill, anti-terrorism, right? So pathos stands for emotions. So antipathy is against. So it's a feeling of hatred. Okay. Is without. Is without. So apathy is indifferent. That means it's not affecting you, right? Then it is empathy. Empathy is you put yourself in other person's shoes and understand his or her problems, right? And sympathy, it's a feeling of feeling of compassion towards the other person, right? So that's sympathy. So I hope you're clear with these words, right? So I'll give you an interesting tool to remember it. So if, say for instance, you get your bag, god forbid, and your friend gets your back, so you can feel that what the other person might be feeling. So then that's empathy. Or a friend gets a bag and you tell him that, okay boss, it's fine, just relax, just take a chill pill, work hard next time, I'm sure you'll be able to clear it. So that's sympathy, right? And if your friend comes and he tells you that, I've got a bag and I'm so sad, and then you say, why are you bothering me? How does it matter to me? Then you're showing indifference. That's apathy. And antipathy is a hypothetical thing. We usually don't do it with our friends. But if a friend comes and you tell him that क्या तू पढ़ता नहीं है तेरी बैग कैसे आ गई तू गधा है क्या so then this is antipathy, right? So this is one way, unique ways, right? You can have your own way. This is just one of the strategies. I still remember this example was given by my teacher in the college, and this is precisely intact with me. So at times there are few things or ways which click us. So this is how we create mnemonics, or we find innovative ways that you have to do, right? Some ways we can suggest, we can guide you. So like my teacher told me, and I'm passing it on to you, that we took this example so that it really became easy for to understand that what's empathy, what is apathy. Otherwise it becomes a lot of commotion, confusion, that what's happening, empathy, sympathy, antipathy, apathy, and at times we get mixed up. So if you're just relating it well, you're associating, or you're finding logical ways to retain, then things would work. That's what I'm trying to say, that do some discussion, do some homework, put a logical idea behind it, innovate, and then you will enjoy the process. But if you're just opening the book and cramming and learning 10 days, and then learning 10 words one day, another day 10 words, after 10 days you will see you would not remember even a single word, right? Or maybe if you're really good at cramming, you might remember few, but all you wouldn't. But if you're finding a logical approach, I graduated long back and I'm still able to retain these words because we did it in a proper manner, effort, and effort in the right direction. This is very very important. See, people, if the competition is extremely high, it, right? And there are a lot of things at stake, so we just can't have a casual approach. We need to have an approach that will work with us. I always say that even if you're investing 1 minute doing something, it should give you an output, it should relate to your preparation, right? It should take you ahead. If it is not taking ahead, then what is the point of doing it, right? So please take care of this particular thing, effort, and effort in the right direction. Now let's further see. Bell is war or warlike. So belligerent is a quarrelsome person. Quarrel, I'm sure you must have heard. So quarrelsome person who's always ready to fight. Now there is this word anti, which is against. Okay. And there is this ante, A-N-T-E, which is before. Okay, so don't get confused. This is I and this is E. So there's slight difference. Antebellum is a situation before war. Okay. Bellicose is again a person who's aggressive, willing to fight. Got that? So at times what happens is that you're looking for a fill in the blank, you're solving a fill in the blank question. You know that in the blank a positive word is going to come. So the moment you see belligerent, even if you know bell stands for what, it's a negative word, so you can eliminate, right? So this is how, through you can solve the questions through eliminations also, if you know the roots, right? And there is this amazing book, word power made easy, and you should definitely go for that particular book. Very very popular, and every English trainer would swear by it, right? Let's come to the next one. NIM. NIM stands for names, and the first is homonym. So homo is same. Homonym, homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. I'm sure you must have studied in chemistry. So if you put salt and water and mix it, it's a homogeneous mixture. And if you put sand and sugar together, it's a heterogeneous mixture. Hetero is different, homo is same. Simple, right? So NIM stands for name. Homonyms means similar names. Antonym is opposites, and synonyms similar in meaning, right? So I'm sure you are clear with these words. Very popular, very frequently seen. So just to tell you that there would be so many words that you would be able to associate better and retain better or understand it better once you know the roots, right? So let's further proceed. Now comes the next set of roots. So GRES stands for, anyways, just count how many words have we learned so far. We have learned more than 60 words, my dear students. And see, it's such a great thing, right? And that's how, quick and easy learning can be if you are, doing it in an interesting way. So let's see, gress. Gress means to step. So progress is stepping forward. Digress is getting deviated. Okay. And what do we mean by retrograde? Retrograde means going back. Okay. Retro songs, I'm sure you have seen, or retro theme parties. You've seen some theme parties where you would be asked to come in a retro look. So people would, girls would either go becoming Mumtaz Mahal, or Sadhana Kat, or they would just, men would like to wear those, long collared coats. So that's what we mean by retro or retro music. I'm sure you must have encountered these terms. Now, just relating it well. Transgression is that you're going beyond the limits set by the society, which are considered to be acceptable, right? Whatever society is considering morally acceptable, you're going beyond that. So you are transgressing. That's where you use the term transgression. Okay. So this might be slightly new to you. Let's come to the next set, which is equi. So let's see, what do we mean by equi. Equi means same. Equation, must have done LHS is equals to RHS, right? So that's an equation that you create, right? uh, Equator, that's line that passes through the center of the earth. So same, above northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere, same, right? Equitable, that means a person was able to get the right things in return. Equivocate is you're taking both the sides, right? You're not coming to one unique answer, you are equivocal. Equivocal means you are, not, having one opinion, rather you are having both the opinion. So it's usually in a person is equivocal, you should not ask him, he would not have a clear stand, he'll be supporting both the ideas. Equanimous is anim is life. So equanimous is a person who is calm, who's composed, who's balanced, right? So that's how we use the word equanimous, right? It's a very positive word, and you should try to be equanimous. Equanimity shown. So equanimous, equanimity, right? So let's come to the next. Anim stands for life. So animate. You must have heard of this word animation, right? So these cartoons, so you're doing what? You're bringing life to the figures. That's how animation works, right? Or at times, what would we do? I'm speaking like this, and then all of a sudden, I'll do a modulation, and I'll do a lot of gestures. How does cat does? When you talk to little babies, how does cat does? We'll say meow. So this is where you're, animating. So that's where we use the word animation. Anim is life, and then you can easily associate. Unanimous, where everybody is together with the idea. So there is no conflict. Everybody is having the same opinion together, same opinion, same thought process. Okay. Equanimity, I just explained the feeling of calmness. There's no chaos, there's peace, there is balance. Magnanimity is you have a large heart, right? Large heartedness. Yeah, you are too generous, you're too giving. So that's how we use it. Now there is pusillanimous, which means that you are timid. Okay. So you are scared, or you are not brave enough. Darpoke. That's what we would mean. Right. So I hope you are enjoying the class. Now, what you can do is you can just make some sentences in your mind, learn some examples, associate. Somebody who's magnanimous, like I would associate with Ratan Tata or Mother Teresa. That he's a magnanimous person, large-hearted, or pusillanimous. Anybody whom who gets scared of cockroaches or is too timid, right? So that's how you can associate it. Or if you know somebody with God, Lord Buddha, I can associate equanimity, right? That's what he taught, that you should not get disturbed when the situation is not friendly. So I would associate, right? I would relate. The moment you start relating, you'll find that your perspective towards learning vocabulary would change, and there would be a complete transformation, and that's what we are aspiring, right? So let's further proceed and learn some more roots. So I'm sure you're going to learn a lot of words in this video, and it's going to be really beneficial for you. So LUC, which is for light. Okay, lucid is something which is clear. Elucidate, explain, right? Translucent, that means you can allow some light to pass through. Okay, so allows some light, not all, to pass through. Pellucid is again something which is clear. Lacks luster, which lacks shine or brightness. Okay, simple, isn't it? Lackluster, you must have seen while you talk about, lustrous, shining. You must have seen by you have done metals and non-metals in your junior classes, right? So we were doing these properties of metals. They are malleable, they are ductile, they are lustrous. So if you're adding lack, which is not having lack of confidence, confidence nahi hai, lackluster, which is not having shine, right? So that's how you can associate, right? So I hope you're clear with the meaning. So lucid is clear. Elucidate is to explain. So India is a democratic country. Elucidate, explain, right? So that's how you can, relate. Translucent. I'm sure in when we did light in our physics, we talked about objects being opaque, which do not allow the light to pass through. Or we did this. Transparent, which allows the entire light to pass through, or translucent, which allows some light to pass through, right? And pellucid is something which might be new to you, but this is also what we call kangaroo words. So if you will just be clear, in the meaning itself, in the spelling itself, you have the meaning. Are you able to see magic? Right? So in the word itself, you get the meaning, which is lucid, clear. So that's what I wrote here. Can you see? Here we, when we found the meaning of lucid, which we wrote clear, and in pellucid also we wrote it clear. So the meaning of pellucid is in the word itself, right? So we give such names, we call them kangaroo words. Okay? Another interesting way to learn, enhance vocabulary, right? Epic learning is students who don't find logic, I always say the moment you start enjoying logic and verbal, things would really become easy for you. So let's move to the next route. I'm sure you're clear with the words. So this is one memory tool that you can use. I'm giving you a lot of tricks. Rest again, I say innovate. Now VOC is to call, vociferous is loud. Okay, now see equi is same, and I just explained you the word call or say, right? So equivocate is when you are having the, you're swaying towards both the sides. You're not having a clear say, right? You are, having the same opinion about both the things. So that's how it is. Invocation, what will be mean? Invocation is an act of invoking or calling. Must have seen in the previous mythological serials, the priests and the yogis, they used to do havans and they used to call god. So that's invocating, that's calling gods, right? So invocation, act of calling upon. I hope you're clear with this. Let's come to the next set of roots. Spec is to see. Spectacles, see, it's so easy, spectacles. It's just that I'm putting it together for you. Inspect, to see thoroughly, right? Retro, we'll just learn retrospect is to go back and evaluate things. Circumspect is to, circum is round, okay? So there's this another word that I would like to circumference, I'm sure you must have heard. Circumambulate, ambule is to walk, circumambulate is walk in a round fashion. When do you circumambulate? When people get married, right? They circumambulate around fire. So circumspect, spect is see, circum is round when you are evaluating in every minutest way. And perspicacious is something which is absolutely understandable, okay, comprehensible. See, it's so simple. Now, are you seeing that the process is really becoming simple for us? It's becoming logical for us. And that's what we would really, really want, right? So I hope you're clear. And are we counting that how many words are we learning, right? We are not even keeping a check because we are in the flow, we are enjoying it. And that's what we should do when we are trying to, enhance our vocabulary. It should not stop. It should be like a flowing river, right? Learning every day, adding new words, getting better. It's dormant. If you're learning, right, you learn these words and you put them, pack them together, in a book, and then the book is somewhere, you are somewhere, not relating, not using, then it would become stagnant. And we always say that you should never be stagnant, you should always be flowing. So whatever you're doing, even vocabulary building should be a flowing thing, right? Then only you'll get into the rhythm, right? I hope I make sense. Too much gyan in between. Like, what do we do? Teachers have got this bad habit. They have to, continuously tell the students not to go wrong. There's a strong urge, you just can't escape it. Chalo, so let's come back. Now come to sanct. Sanct means pure. Okay. So sanct root is holy or pure. So sacrosanct is something which is again pure. Sanctify is the process to make things pure, to make things pure or holy. Okay, so see, at times people, after attending the funeral, they would take a wash, right? Or they would go to Haridwar, um, or they'll just put some Ganga Jal on them. So that's sanctify, right? Purifying, right? So what is sanctimonious? So you are trying to show that you're morally supreme than others. So it's more of demonstrating. So I'll just write it. Making a show, being morally superior than other people. Okay, so you can write it. Maybe it's slightly complicated and you might forget. So you can just associate if you know somebody in your circle who does that, or if a figure or an image, or you can associate with some character in the movie. Do that. Okay, so I hope you're clear. Next comes the root probe, which means testing. Okay, prove yourself, right? We are testing you, right? Probe is going on, a period of probation. Have you seen? So when people join, usually 6 months are the given, which we call a period of probation. Probation is where you are tested, how good you are. Usually once the probation period is over, then you get a letter of confirmation. Most of the firms do that. And government jobs, again, there's a period which can be varying. In some places, in some government jobs, even 2 years remains to be the period of probation. So, what are you doing? I'm in probation, right? I'm in the testing period. So that's what they say. Improve is to get better. Approve is, you pass the test, and probity is again something, a search or a test which is going on, right? So see, every word is associated. It's relatable. Once you know the root, it's a quick thing. You wouldn't even take a lot of time to retain, right? Them we just did. NEM stands for people. See, it says magic. I do tell you, we did pandemic before, right? Demography we did. Demagogue, you are going to do. Okay, so find the meaning of this word. This is your homework. It's going to be easy, and learn more words with root dem, right? So I hope you enjoyed this process of learning the roots. So now, since we have learned a lot of roots, it's a quick question. Think of the words that have the root anti in it, right? And make a list and see, are you able to relate? There's so many words, some I have also mentioned in the discussion. You can add more words, and this process of learning, imbibing, searching, exploring should be on, right? That's what the purpose of class is. Now, I have talked about reading. I have also given you a bit of information of what kangaroo words are. We have learned so many roots, right? So many roots, so close to more than 100 words we have just finished. Now, there's another interesting technique, mnemonics. We did use mnemonics when I was giving you that example of antipathy, empathy, sympathy. Mnemonics are memory tools that you create. So I still remember when I was in junior class. So we had this chemistry teacher, and we learned 1 to 20 atomic numbers. I still remember her, hey, lee, babe, kanofane, namgal, sips, clarka. And these are, the 20 atomic numbers, right? So how did I do it? Because this her, hey, lee, babe, you must have learned periodic table, usse, tipo, and all these short forms and short tricks we utilized. Same as mnemonics. You associate with some person, you relate with some character, you make some drawing, however it works for you. There's this whatever floats your boat, right? So that's very creative. And again, I'm really emphasizing on this idea that vocabulary building is a very creative thing. So if you're going to be very creative, you're going to see that impact coming, right? And how to creative, you don't need to have wings to be creative. You just need to put a conscious effort. Don't make a superficial effort while you're enhancing vocabulary. The moment you start making conscious effort, you'll find ways, right? So like there's this word luminous. Now Sachin Tendulkar does this ad of luminous batteries, or you can associate it with lamp. Loquacious is the person who talks a lot, right? So LOQ stands for speaking. In the beginning, also I did eloquent, right? When we were describing Amitabh Bachchan, who speaks well, loquacious. So maybe I can associate it with Kapil Sharma. I find that this fellow really speaks a lot. Or if you know some auntie in the neighborhood really, really speaks, some of your friend, right? Any colleague, associate, relate. Or maybe Juhi ma'am, she also talks a lot, right? Lassitude. So lassitude is laziness. Lassi pee ke lassitude aa gaya, right? So unique, यूनिक वे ऑफ लर्निंग, राइट? बट जब आपने ऐसे कर लिया लस्सी पी के लास्ट उठा के, आप बहुत रिलेट कर पा रहे हो, तो आपके लिए वर्ड सीखना आसान हो जाएगा, राइट? और देर इज दिस ऑल्सो वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग स्ट्रैटेजी, बट दिस रियली रिक्वायर्स अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट. Are you seeing that with every word I am, getting the synonyms? So clear is some clear, lucid, evident, apparent, recognizable, each letter and clear, right? This is a very unique technique, but this would really require effort. So, some ways, if you are able to gather words, you can do it like this. Some you can associate with the character, some with the thing, some with the figure, some with the movie, some with the star. However it works for you, it's a very, very personalized approach, and I would really want you to, do associations that helps you retain better, right? Now you have this question in front of you. Create a mnemonic of the word gregarious. So Greg is for outgoing. Gregarious stands for people. Okay, so people, outgoing. Gregarious is an outgoing person. So now what you're going to do, you're going to make a mnemonic for it. So think of any person who's gregarious in your circle, and you would be able to find a mnemonic for yourself, right? So, another interesting way, this is something which I've tried and tested. Take a good quality piece of paper, preferably, I used to do it by, utilizing the wedding invites. So take good quality paper and make a small card of it. Preferably, the size should be that of a playing card, right? So you have learned 5 words today. You read an article and you have found 5 words, or 10, or 15, or 20, or 25. Write the main word, meaning, two antonyms, and two synonyms. So how many words you have in the card? 25. Make 5 such cards. How many words you have? 125. Keep on revising these 125 words the entire week. Right? You're never going to forget. And if possible, use the main word in a sentence on the opposite side of it. So when you turn the card, use the main word in a sentence so that your discussion happens over that particular word and you're able to relate it. Again, very personalized. If you would want, some people, some girls would, write antonyms with the red and synonyms with green, or they would make a small figure or emoji or a drawing to relate better. Somebody would just want, flashcards to be just having 2 words, however it works for you, right? And you must have seen recently there's a lot of trend that has come of flashcards. People using it for their kids to teach alphabets and letters. I use it for my daughter, right? So this is very innovative and unique approach, and it really, really works. I have made my own flashcards, and I can guarantee you these uh, cards, if you make and you keep on revising. So what I used to do, I used to make 5 such cards, keep it in my wallet, and whenever I used to go by bus in my college, so they were good 25, 30 minutes. I used to revise, take a look at the cards while I was traveling, or while you're in a metro, or you're waiting for the next professor to come. It happens, in between you have those 3, 4, 5 minutes. Or at times what happens is the professor is done with teaching, he gives you some homework, or she gives you some homework, and then you have done it, or you don't want to do it, or you're feeling bored, you're waiting for somebody, any think of any few seconds that you can spare, and keep on looking at those cards. Make a conscious effort, and you are going to report this victory that you have not forgotten these 125 words, right? It really works. So try this. Very personalized. This is one way of making it. You can try your own ways. uh, you can be unique, you can be creative, whatever works for you. You can write the word in Hindi if that works well for you. But do make flashcards. Maybe you write loquacious here, and you make You write Kapil Sharma there. You can do that also, right? So this is another approach that you can use for vocabulary building, right? So I hope you are thorough with the ways you've understood the strategies. Now it's time that you quickly solve these questions. You're going to fill the blanks using the roots, using the words that have got the roots given in the bracket. We have already learned these roots, so it should not be a very difficult thing for you. Try it. We have learned all them in all the words we can fill in here because we have already have good discussion on these. So Rob is a large-hearted person. He is benevolent. We learned this word kind-hearted. USA is the oldest democracy. Accept and accept are homonyms. He was always criticized because of his belligerent nature. Remember, bell means war, right? Ben means good. Cressy means rule. Nim stands for name. And this we just did. Helen has many friends. She is gregarious, outgoing, right? Outgoing. Comfortable, right? So let's further see. He was vibrant, that his presence illuminated the room, right? Illuminated, brightened. We said luminous battery, Sachin Tendulkar does the it. The corona pandemic, we've learned root pan, which means all, and dem stands for people, right? We sat in the antes before, so there is this ante room, which is sort of a drawing room that comes before the rest of the building, right? Someone's image is a bad thing, so you malign, you damage somebody's reputation. Mal is bad, right? And is a non-believer of God. So thee or thy stands for God. Okay. So a theist is a person who does not believe in God. Is without, so without the belief. Theist is who believes in God, right? So if you're having wanting a word here, it would be a theist, right? So this brings us to an end of the session. I hope you really enjoyed the class. I hope you have found some unique ways. I hope you're all charged up. Again, my advice would be consistency is the key. Just don't cram the words, put the words in a, you've learned these so many words and you put it in your diary, close the diary. Where is the diary? Where are you? This should not happen, right? Please ensure that you are making rigorous, regular efforts so that you can see the output, and definitely output will come. We have seen, I know there was one student of mine and he got an exceptional score in GRE in the verbal section, of course in quant section, and he was coming from a Hindi medium background. He was so scared, but what a phenomenal growth that fellow made. And there's one thing which I'm really proud to tell you, that he was very regular, and he was very sincere, and he had the fire to do things. So there's nothing that can stop you. Please don't have any hitch. Don't think that you are not having the skill set. Everybody has it. Some might require 10 days, you might require 20 days, somebody might need even a month, and that's fine, right? Go as per your pace, recognize your strengths and weaknesses, understand that what is your pace of learning, and make regular efforts, right? So thank you so much for your enthusiastic participation. I hope you really enjoyed the video. Please help spread the word. Please take care. God bless you. Bye bye.